All right, it is official. It is official. One, first of all, it's your main man, Dr. Life, in the business of saving lives. First responder, responding to unnatural, artificial, man-made disasters. I must be about the heavenly bride's business. I must be about the heavenly bride, my godmother's business. You know who it is. It's the Shine Doctors. The Shine Doctors. Shine Doctor Kanisha Leggett Life. Her RPG Shine on RPG, the rugged prophetic ghost. That's me of Alien Bedrock Nation. So it's official. It's official. Most of y'all joined us the last quarter of 2025 for the Wedding Feast of Tabernacles. Because I was telling y'all 2025 is a year of judgment. It's a judgment year where God was going to separate the wheat from the tares, the sheep from the goats, the mark of the beast from the seal of God, those who go to the flames and those who go to the wedding feast. 2025 was a judgment year. So by the last quarter, why was the last quarter important? Because we the only ones who telling the people exactly how this thing is going to end. We the only ones who telling the world exactly how it ends and exactly how we end it in the end. And I took y'all strategically to the last book of the Bible, Revelation, and then the last chapter. In the last chapter, I explained to y'all why it was so important to enter back into the covenant of the wedding feast of tabernacles during my wife's year of jubilee. Every 50 years, God says, the lands and the inheritance and the dominion goes back to the children that may have gotten displaced. There's no such thing as a 400 years of slavery. There's no such thing. That is a myth. They want you to believe that somebody can enslave you. Nobody can enslave God's children past 50 years. Leviticus 25. And when it comes out of God's mouth, it is. It's not arbitrary. Once it's spoken, just like when he said, let there be light, there was light. So the moment that God says, every 50 years, this has to happen, it happens. Whether the world wants it to happen or not, whether it happens, the moment it comes out of God's mouth. And the moment that you enter into the covenant and you actually do that thing, nature has to do that which God commanded. And once you put yourself in position to receive the abundant harvest, that's the only thing that can happen. So leading up to the last quarter, I was letting the world know, listen, this is my wife's 50th. She's getting her inheritance back. Whether her parents had an inheritance, whether her parents knew about the covenant, I was stating that my wedding dowry, the husbandman's wedding dowry, is the transference of the heirlooms handed down by the queens of the South and the queens of the North face in my family line. This don't have nothing to do with my wife's family line. That's why it's the wedding feast of tabernacles. whether her family knows about the covenant or not, regardless, when she turned 50, because my family knew about the covenant. And because the wedding dowry is not for the husband, the wedding dowry is exclusively for the bride. So I was declaring on her 50th, she will get her dowry. She ain't got to work for it. She ain't got to, it's her inheritance. And I was simply declaring that unlike the prodigal son who went out and squandered his dowry, I hadn't squandered mine. I've protected mine. I've guarded mine. And so at the fullness of time, so that everybody, older than me, younger than me, everybody could do the same thing, my main man, E.T., we did a conference together in Atlantic City. That's why Atlantic City is the AC Sky Bar. Havilah Bartender Sky Bar. Because we went to Atlantic City where Donald Trump couldn't survive, where Donald Trump went bankrupt. Yeah, where Donald Trump went bankrupt. We own the boardwalk. And when we went to Atlantic City, we put together a conference for business. But the VIP session, ET and I share a marriage makers group from Huntsville. I call it the Wedding Bell Tower Ministry. The Philadelphia Wedding Bell Tower Ministry. The hip hop One Love in marriage in Huntsville. 27 summers plus. Oprah Winfrey, who? She been watching us, trying to come down there and take credit. Oprah Winfrey, who? She don't know nothing about marriage. She don't know nothing about relationships. What Oprah know about marriage? She ain't married. How could she even talk about love and marriage? She ain't married. That down low relationship with Gayle King, and then got Stedman as a puppet trying to have the form of godliness. Man, knock it off. Get out of our city, yo. The real hip hop love and marriage in Huntsville is E.T. the hip hop preacher and his wife, and myself and my wife, and the other supernatural Lion King's Dominion couples that was in the group. And so because I understood what a wedding dowry was based off of Abraham sent his son Isaac to go get a bride. And when he found Rebecca, his servant blessed her with the wedding dowry on the spot. On the spot. This is God's covenant of marriage. She was worth her weight in Havilah, silver and gold. And so I said on my wife's 50th, she getting her bridal dowry, retiring her. So all of these, I don't care who got a philosophy about work and about whatever. Listen, whoever is around, if you ain't God, if you're not God, and if you didn't speak Leviticus 25, then we not even acknowledging you. If you ain't speak Leviticus 25 that commanded me to do what I did on her 50th birthday, be silent. So we started back in October the 2nd in the last quarter. But my cousin Vince, my triplet Vince, my triplet Nicole, Starlin, Shakir, on January in the first quarter of last year, they both started wellness movements. And of course, I had my let's get in the beginning. We fit, we the fittest. Let's get in the beginning. CrossFit games, which led to the One Love iIMGi Hip Hop Symphony neighborhood games. So everybody responded in the last quarter, but me and my family, we started in the first quarter. That's why Vince and his bride Nia, along with my bride, they get the Golden Scepter Award for that final quarter. So those of y'all that didn't start when they started, to do a complete turnaround, our goal is to have a makeover. You need you need to do a 180. 90 days is only half time. So once we got to the new year, from October the 2nd to January 2nd, that was only 90 days. So we give the Golden Scepter Award every 90 days. So we have 4 Golden Scepter Awards every year. But we have 5 wedding feasts. Immediately in the beginning of the year, we began an emergency wedding feast to put those in the covenant who missed the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and you missed the start of the fourth quarter. So we did an emergency, 16 days in January, and now we're doing 14 days in February. Emergency, so that everybody could be in this first 90 days or in this first 180. So at the end of this 180, April the 2nd, we're going to have another Golden Scepter Award. We got the Golden Scepter Award going down right now. But we also have the winter One Love iIMGi Hip Hop Neighborhood Games starting off right now. All right? So that everybody who wants to join can join the new group starting. We're rewarding the old group and we're starting a new group. Y'all understand? Y'all got it? The old group is getting rewarded for what they did last year. But the new group, we here at the place, we're in Orlando. This is one of the spots, one of the main spots we're gonna be at. All right. So we live all over the country. Where no matter where you are. So we taught y'all the concept of the tent of meeting. The tent of meeting the Holy Spirit. So in every city, we take in luxury Airbnbs and we converting them into a tent of meeting. So when y'all want to participate, all you gotta do is get to. All you gotta do is respond to the registration, flyers or whatever. Respond to the registration. By the way, we at the Well Activity Center in Apopka. All right, just so y'all know, we're the One Love iIMGi Hip Hop Symphony Winter Neighborhood Games. And so we have a phenomenal Miss Jocelyn Massey is the phenomenal. She played in the WNBA, is the phenomenal coach at this facility. And I told y'all, me and my wife was gonna get back to the ITB in the shape that we used to be in. And I told y'all my wife used to play basketball and volleyball at the highest levels. So the reason why this is home is because my wife has been rehabilitating an ACL, a knee injury. So what better place? And this is not just for girls. Miss Jocelyn Massey is on the highest level. I've been here a couple times watching her program, right? So we're gonna utilize these resources. We're gonna get y'all in here. We're gonna train, and we're gonna play these games here. All right. So we are live. The DBL in Chicago, the little DBL in Chicago. My sister cousin Nikki, um, who is gonna do all of our bracketology. Who, for my kids coming up in Chicago, when they played in the Michael Finley camps and all of that, Nikki was always um, organizing the camps. So we gonna rely on Nikki. I'm gonna turn all of this over. I just, I just planted the seed. Um, Her husband Brandon, you know, um, he's one of my investment partners. He specializes in investing in stocks, but more importantly, our yacht club and spa. Brandon is going to captain and head up and make sure that our dream to sail around the beaches of the world on yachts comes true. All right, so we doing a marriage maker. We're gonna do marriage makers makeovers on yachts. All right, included in this. So we're gonna get y'all plugged. But I told y'all I was going. My wife's other passion is volleyball, and they play volleyball at a high level here too. So this is home for the two passions that brought me and Kanisha together. Okay, and so we gonna start. I'm making a huge investment in the women's side of pro sports because the NFL and the NBA have not done that. So we're going to lead in the investment in the women, in the queens. And by default, the male side is going to do what it's supposed to do anyway. But we're going to lead. We're going to over invest in the women's side to make up for the absence of investment all of these years, underfunding. So taking my wife and my daughters, both of my daughters played volleyball. Both of them played basketball too at the same high school. Um, Unfortunately, Destiny didn't get the chance to play basketball at Pine Forge because they was on lockdown during COVID. But Destiny played football. Deja played basketball. My wife and all my daughters play volleyball. So the things that they sacrificed and worked with me on, we gonna ultra invest. And so because these facilities lay dormant during the day, and because our program cures something called the dropout factory, during the daytime these facilities lay dormant. You have gyms in all your cities, all across the country, but we have a population that dropped out of high school. We got a population that 85% of those who drop out of high school, they go to prison and they commit violent crimes in the neighborhoods that they live in. So if we have gyms that are laying dormant and we have people that we couldn't keep active and they got disenfranchised with high school and they dropped out. So now their economic buying power is ultra limited. So they turn to lives of crime to be able to put food on the table. When many of these individuals came up in little leagues playing on the highest level in their neighborhoods, but when they got to high school, the high school said, we only taking 12 of y'all. So they left hundreds and hundreds of them out without an opportunity to play. And because they couldn't play the sport that they loved, they got disenchanted with high school, and then they dropped out. And they still trying to figure it out, and they still in these neighborhoods. So what the One Love iIMGi neighborhood games allows us to do is tell our brothers and sisters, come over here to the well at 10 a.m. Come over here and try out, and let's see who's the best in this neighborhood at basketball, at volleyball, at soccer, at track. We could get everybody off the streets. Come over here at 10 a.m. and we're gonna put the tournament together. And then by the time the kids is all in school. So when it's time for the kids to play, when they get out at 3, so it's 3 o'clock right now. Most of the kids in middle school, they get out at 3 o'clock. So in Washington Shores and Pine Hills and Paramore, all of the middle schools that feed the major high schools around here, Jones, Evans, Olympia High, Apopka, Wekiva Springs, all of these middle schools, you getting out at 3 o'clock. So your job is to get the babies out of school at 3, and in 30 minutes have them here on the court playing. All of the paid programs, and then all of y'all need to come and watch these babies and watch these individuals that dropped out of high school. Now we're going to give them a pro career. And y'all sitting at the house not doing nothing, y'all come buy a ticket to support the individuals in your community, because what are we doing? We're erasing the crime and the violence. You're welcome. We're erasing the crime and the violence. All of you businesses, we're going to ask all of your businesses in these neighborhoods to sponsor. This facility ain't free. We ain't even about to ask them for no discount. But if we going to take the crime and the violence out your streets, the least that y'all could do, if we going to put disposable income back in their pockets, who they going to come spend it with? They going to come spend it with y'all. By default, we blessing the whole community. So all of y'all that's getting blessed, we going to ask y'all to do a sponsorship so that these individuals could come in here and play in this facility, get on a pro team. This is pro. Then we're going to pay them to play for pro. All right? All over the country, in every inner city neighborhood. All right? It starts today. So the way you get an invite is you got to do an online video submission. All right? And it takes a staff to comb through and watch all of that. So there is a fee, like a layaway. It's like a 10% deposit, so that we could pay our staff to go through all the videos, tell you where to show up, and boom, 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 boom. Tell you where the tent of meeting is going to be at in your area, where you're going to play at, where all of that. Okay. So look for a flyer that's going to have a Zelle, where you would Zelle the $40 registration fee immediately. And then when you show up for the tryout, or for show up for your first game, or show up for your combine, you're gonna bring the rest of the registration fee in person. You're going to Zelle $40 straight so that our staff can get y'all straight in the system. Then you bring the rest of the registration money with you. All right? Video submissions. This is how we putting all of the teams together. All right? February 10th, the games is on. All right? We're going to find gyms like this in every inner city neighborhood during the day. During the day, they're like this. We're going to start at 10 a.m. each morning, and we're going to play these games. All right? We're going to ask the community to come out and watch and cheer. All right? We're going to ask businesses to sponsor. We're going to ask our people to come play. Then when the kids get out of school, and then middle school and high school, when they get out of school, they're going to come and play. And we're going to see who the best of the best of the best is. Neighborhood games is on right now. And so I reached out to strategic individuals from Polk County. I reached out to strategic individuals from Orange County, from Osceola County. So we also have inmates. In Orange County, you got 33rd Street. You got each one of these, you got county jails full of individuals who used to be stars in the same situation. And so I say to attorneys, I say to judges, I say to the police, I say to everybody, this is the solution. This is the solution. There's a Harvard study called The Forgotten Middle. The Forgotten Middle. And so policing these groups of individuals after the fact is just like our medical system treating symptoms instead of getting to the root cause and providing a cure. So we're going to challenge the correctional facilities. We're going to challenge the jails. We're going to challenge the judges. We're going to challenge the politicians. What we saying is, just like y'all provide buses and y'all take the individuals to go out and do day labor projects, those that are in jail, in these county jails, they not in prison, they right here in the county, but those that used to be stars, we're going to have a specific segment and a block for them. We got a special program called Paroled, where we incorporate virtual reality and augmented reality to help individuals have a dignified reentry back into society. And there's no greater application than in sports and recreation. So we're going to use our virtual reality platform and our paroled movement and our dignified reentry program to challenge y'all to give us access, put teams together of inmates who is in the county. Let them come out. We'll put the schedule, put the block. Once again, this place is empty. We're not saying it's gonna be no kids here. We're not saying none of that. We control the segment and the block and the time that they come and play, but they should have an opportunity to get a pro contract and get their life back on track. They wouldn't be dealing dope if they had a pro contract initially straight out of high school. They wouldn't be doing the crime if they had a pro contract. So now that they have an opportunity to get a pro contract, the only thing standing in the way is the system. The only thing standing in the way is the way that you used to do it. And once again, my daughter Deja Leggett, I told y'all we was gonna do this. I told y'all we was gonna do this. She is the face. She is the inspiration. And so we also gonna have a conversation. We also gonna have a conversation about harsh sentencing. You have individuals who ain't never lived a life of crime, and then for them to get 9 months of this and that, like, come on. And then when you're an asset to the community, like our family is an asset to the community, so we gonna challenge y'all. We coming to sit down. We coming to talk. Um, I appreciate the individuals that I've already reached out to. I've already been working with these individuals, so this is not a knock on these individuals. They are to be commended for the work that they do. But in general, I'm just challenging the system in general to prepare the way for the conversation. All right. So once again, my wife is the catalyst for all of this. My wife is the catalyst for all of this. And there are so many groups and so many people who um, don't want to see this happen, but trying to prevent this from happening. There's so many individuals putting hurdles in place. Um, but it all ends today. Okay. Not playing with none of y'all. Care who you are. Okay. So, Chicago, we online. Arizona, we online. California, LA, Watts, Compton, San Bernardino, um, Detroit, Michigan, everywhere we done played, everywhere where we got our bridal party, everywhere where we got loved ones. Listen, we online. Philly, Trenton, New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Bronx, everything. We on Huntsville, Alabama, Birmingham, um, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, all throughout Florida. We on New Orleans, Texas. We on Arizona, Nevada. We on. We on. We all the way on. Starting the day. All right. So if y'all don't jump on, that's y'all bad. And the ICO, the Onyx Wall Street Banks. Okay, so listen, as of today, we've created the accounts for the 70%. We told I told y'all, I told y'all, based off of what the word was saying, 1/3 of the world gets judged. So 2/3 of the world goes to the kingdom. That's the math. 2/3 of the world goes to the wedding feast. 70%. 1/3 of the world, 30% goes to the lake. That's the math. So we created the Havilah Hollow coins to bless the 70% with the ability to buy or sell when the 30% get hit with the mark of the beast and they can't buy or sell. So what I'm telling y'all is we have created the account for 5,760,000,000 individuals. How y'all doing? And so the way you get access to your account, we created, I used the model of direct sales. Many of y'all call it network marketing, but there's a concept called pay it forward. So pay it forward is when somebody blesses you, you find somebody else to bless. That's pay it forward. But the compensation plan from direct sales and network marketing, we're connecting to the pay it forward thing. So what that means is, I told y'all, it takes 1,600 of us to create every pro, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna challenge our people from the first world to get the Havilah Hollow coins to our people in the third world country that they have enslaved and they take advantage of. The world economy runs off of the impoverished individuals all around the world. Okay? So we're gonna end that. We're gonna give the least of these, our brother and sister and sisters. They have a Lahalo coins. They don't even know nothing about it, right? But the way you get full access to your have a Lahalo coins is the more individuals you put on today coins, the more of your account you get access to. So what I'm saying is we created the account for everybody. But until you put in work and make sure, and it doesn't matter how long. So when you hit your 1600, you get full access to your full account. But until you hit the 1600, there is a compensation for each amount of individuals that you bless. All right. And we got that compensation breakdown from the direct sales industry. So as you're going through your 1600, a larger and larger percentage of your account you get access to. The more people that you put onto their wallet and their hollow coins, the more of your account you get access to. That's how you convert your bread. All right. That starts the day. That ICO is it's it's all you got to do. It's called staking your claim. You just have to claim, just like an inheritance. Or if one of your ancestors dies and they have a living will, you have to show up with the attorney and you have to claim your inheritance. So we've already issued worth your weight in Havala Hollow coins, Havala gold. So that's why we do the Let's Get in the Beginning Fit challenge in 90 days, so that everybody can come. And then the calculation is based off of your healthy weight, right? Because God says, don't you know that your body is the temple of God? He who destroys the temple, him will God destroy. So we're trying to get everybody back to their in the beginning fit, perfect weight, and then calculate your Havala gold inheritance based off of your perfect fit weight. Okay? So you got to join the challenge. You got to be a part of the challenge. And then you have to help us, like the Good Samaritan, go out in the highways and the byways, and those who have been abused and abandoned and left for dead, get them, bring them to myself and my wife so we can get them the makeover and get them they have a hollow coins. And the more people you help us get the have a hollow coins too, their inheritance too, the more 50-year-olds that you get could join us in our wedding feast of tabernacles, the more individuals that you get into this covenant, the then you get full access to your total inheritance that you got from us. You already got it from us. You just have to stake your claim and unlock it by putting in the work with us. Got it? You already a royal. You already got your inheritance. If you don't unlock it, then you squander it like the prodigal son did. If you don't go out and put it in work and help other individuals get their inheritance and do the pay it forward, you squander it. All right? So we live. Once again, this was inspired by my wife and my children. My wife and my children are the architects, and I work for them. I am the hardest worker for my wife and my children. They are my bosses. Okay? So we live. All right? So we're going to tell you where the tent of meetings are, and we're putting the Onyx Wall Street banks in your neighborhood, in these hip hop neighborhoods too. We're gonna tell y'all where y'all can go and you can convert your cash into Havilah bills in your neighborhood. Remember, we have a real estate investment trust, a REIT. One of the number one things we invested in is closed and rundown banks. So when a bank closes in your neighborhood, we're gonna open the Onyx Wall Street Bank. We're gonna put a tent of meeting outside and we're gonna turn it into a financial educational institution to teach you your financial covenant. And then we're gonna have you go to your regular bank, pull the money out your regular bank, and then go over to the Onyx Wall Street Bank and get your Havilah bills and Havilah coins. We live right now. And every last one of y'all who is in the 70%, the 30%, the Puff Daddies of the world, the Jay-Z's of the world, who inflict trauma, the Russell Simmons of the world, who inflict trauma on our women, on our daughters, the outcasts, 1/3, the Canes, the Canaans, the Canaanites, Tubal Cain, Jubal Cain, Lot and Lot's wife, Jezebel, Delilah, the Philistines, Goliath. Y'all know who y'all are, the 1/3, who the final battle of Armageddon is against, who we separate. We don't got nothing for y'all, nothing. It's a Brexodus. Y'all exited. Y'all getting out of our lands. Y'all getting out of our way. Y'all getting out of our lives. A Brexodus. No matter what color you are, no matter what nationality you are, it's an exodus back to the caves that y'all came from. So, that's what it is. Come get it.
Yo voy a hacer